Thank you. Welcome back to the Board of Selectmen meeting for July 11th. At 8 o'clock we had an agenda item for the interim town manager. We're going to move that to the next meeting on the 23rd. So, being 8:15, Attorney John Davis, Attorney Richard Gellman, discussion RE identification agreement insurance. Have they come forward? Are they here?
They, thank you, sir.
Davis.
We don't have to use it.
We did when I was waiting for counsel, both parties, I guess.
Mark, is the 23rd your next regular meeting?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is it us you're waiting for?
Yes, counsel.
Well, that easy, we would have been here by now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with Mr. Gellman.
I'm Dick Elliman, still town council.
Sue Hewler is still at Town Council's office.
John Davis, Sheriff Davis of Peritano.
Jim Carberry, Craft Group.
Ian Murphy, Craft Group.
Who would like to start? You, Dick?
Sure, it's just mostly John's explanation, but the good news is that we have received forms of endorsements from Jim, which with some cleanup will be acceptable to Meyer, and John can talk about the changes. We've also, they're unsigned though, but Meyer and John, Meyer has agreed that for Saturday's event, unsigned copies are good enough. We'll get to lower the deductible. He will tell us that. So the process will be, these are the endorsements. They will get cleaned up, sent to Jim tomorrow morning, sometime tomorrow. He'll send them to me, I'll send them to, John's going to be on vacation, I'll send them to Ed, to Mr. Callahan and Maya. He'll then send you, Bob, a email saying that he'll accept these for Saturday's event and to lower the deductible. Then we'll get signed versions and we'll be done. That's essentially where we are.
John, you concur?
Yeah, I'll just explain a little bit how we got here. What we've done and what the craft organization through their insurer has agreed to do is to take the language of the Maya law enforcement policy that defines personal injury, where your civil rights coverage is contained, and in effect graft that into the Great Divide policy. There are a few minor changes which we talked about and we agreed to. So, but the most important thing is that the Great Divide policy is going to provide law enforcement civil rights coverage for the Foxborough Police Department when they are engaged in providing security services over at Gillette Stadium. That's the most important thing, and that's key, and that's what we will have under the Great Divide policy. The second issue that we've been going back and forth with a little bit in the last few days is that both under the license agreements and the lease, the craft organization agreed to provide us with coverage of $2 million per occurrence, $2 million per claim, and $5 million in annual aggregate. Under the GL policy that the craft organization has with Great Divide, that policy only provides $1 million, $2 million instead of $2 million, $5 million. They do have an umbrella policy that provides $4 million above that, so they do get to the right numbers. The issue with respect to the umbrella policy was that contained a law enforcement exclusion, so it would not be protective of the town of Foxborough in the event of a civil rights claim. So what they have done is they have gone to their insurer and they are going to eliminate that exclusion so that between the two layers of coverage, we will have the $2 million, $5 million that the craft organization agreed to provide. There are some cleanup issues in terms of the couple of phrases in here that were inadvertently added that need to be cleaned up, and that's going to be done. And certainly we need counter-signatures of the Great Divide personnel to confirm that this is part of their policy. But I have shared this with Maya, and I have told Maya that in my view this satisfies the conditions, that the second condition that was part of each of the licenses issued for stadium events this summer and the soccer events, and Maya concurs that based upon the language that has been provided to them, and again cleaning it up, getting signatures, that they will reduce the deductible on the Maya policy per claim from $50,000 to $7,500 effective for this event this Saturday. So I'd like to say we're right across the line. We're there. I mean, we are there. We've reached agreement on all of the pertinent terms. It's just a matter of mechanics now to clean things up and get signatures, and we just need to see those things done before it's all in place, tidied up.
Great, thank you, John. Any questions from the board for John?
This will be tightened up by tomorrow, such that Meyer is satisfied, and then the event on Saturday will be full with $7,500.
Right.
That will be the case.
Yes.
There won't be loose ends and open ends.
No. I just got off the phone with Maya a few minutes ago.
So I just want to confirm that now with everything in place, this satisfies the motion that we had attached to the event applications.
Yeah, Ginny, what it does, and I'm just fixing now a new motion, but what it means is that for Saturday's event, the Maya deductible for the town's policy will be reduced from $50,000 per claim to $7,500 per claim. That's what the board wanted. Okay. And they're willing to do that on unsigned endorsements from MPS. In a sense, we don't really care to look, we don't really care what they do with their insurance as long as Maya has told us that as far as they're concerned, it will reduce our deductible to the $7,500. We will have from them tomorrow. Bob will get an email from them telling him that for Saturday's event, the deductible is reduced. Then we will get signed copies cleaned up, and he will then say for all other events at the stadium, go forward, the deductible has been reduced from $50,000 to $7,500.
So once all the paperwork is signed and everything, the motions that we attach to the applications for the events will have been satisfied?
Yes.
Right?
I just want to thank John and Dick and Cindy for working with Jim, Dan, and also Maya to take care of the situation. I really appreciate how hard everyone did work to make this happen, and certainly taxpayers in the town of Foxborough are very grateful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jim, anything to add?
Not really.
Come on.
No, I'm sorry. No, I was also going to thank John and Cindy and Dick for working very, very hard on this. And Mike Norick, who's not here and you've never met, and I can assure you, he's been on vacation and calling me 7 o'clock in the morning, 12:30, and 5:30 every single day, and he's actually done a tremendous amount of work. But I'm glad we've reached this point. It's a huge relief, and these folks have really worked quite hard.
Thank you. Fantastic work. It's been a long month of July. It's the 11th, right? Yeah, Michael Norak, we've never met, but reach out to him. Dick, Cindy, John, Dan, Jim, acting town manager Bob Cutler, of course, really came through right off the bench. Really appreciate all the work done. The board of selectmen, fantastic job. Everybody, finance department, all the town employees, town hall, everybody did a great job. And it was collaborative. Everybody was trying to get to the same point. It just didn't seem that way at times. It's just a difference of agreement. And you're always going to have that in business. And it's you know, it doesn't mean we're not friends, it doesn't mean we're enemies. We're always trying to work together to come to a fruition that's right for everybody. And that's what I think this board likes to do, doesn't like do, will do with any corporation. And I really appreciate that. You know, we're trying to keep focus going forward here. We're not looking in the rearview mirrors. We appreciate the largest taxpayer in Foxborough. And we appreciate everything they do for the community of Foxborough. And we have to butt heads a little bit. We're trying to do it as softly as possible. So, I want to reach out to Jonathan and Robert Kraft and thank them too, you know, for giving us the personnel that they have hired to get the job done. So, let's looking forward to a brighter future. Okay. So, do I hear a motion from the clerk? Did
Yeah.
the town council give you one?
We have one. It's a little scratched up, that's good. I'll move that the board, having been advised that the applicant has been able to obtain an insurance endorsement or endorsements in form acceptable to the board, and that will allow MIAA to reduce the town's deductible for events at Gillette Stadium from the current $50,000 per claim to the previous $7,500 per claim. But that said endorsements and authorization letter have not been executed, but are anticipated to be provided prior to the next scheduled event to be held at Gillette Stadium. The board votes that the previously approved licenses for the following events: the Bon Jovi concert on July 20th, 2013, the Taylor Swift concerts on July 26th and 27th, 2013, and the Kenny Chesney concerts on August 23rd and 24th, 2013, may, upon receipt by the interim town manager of said endorsements and MIA authorization letter in form acceptable to him, in reliance upon such advice as he deems appropriate, be released from escrow by the interim town manager and be issued to the applicant. And further, that the insurance condition imposed by the board for the Revolution soccer schedule license is, upon receipt by the interim town manager of said endorsements and MIA authorization letter in form acceptable to him, in reliance upon such advice as he deems appropriate, is satisfied. All said licenses remain subject to all other conditions previously imposed by the board.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. 4-0. And just the regular selectmen to develop smart night in case you didn't notice. But you know, I really appreciate everything. So I think we're going to keep basically the same group together for the next continuation of the public hearing. We don't need to read the notice again, do we?
I think you should.
Okay, well, with the clerk, we need to use public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, you don't need counsel.
I don't think so. Thank you very much. Jess, do you want to join us? Anytime.
Excuse me.
This is a continuation of a public hearing from last Tuesday night. I'll read the hearing notice once again. The Board of Selectmen, acting as a local licensing authority pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 181, and Section 183A, and Chapter 136, Section 4, Town of Foxborough revised general bylaws, Articles 5, Section 6, and also stadium rules and regulations, will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, now continued to Thursday, July 9th, now continued to the 11th, 2013, beginning at 7:10 p.m. in the Andrew A. Gaylor Jr. Meeting Room in Alva High School, to review a time change for the event's end time from 11:15 p.m. to midnight, submitted by MPS LLC for the Bon Jovi Because We Can tour concert. This event is proposed for Gillette Stadium. All interested parties are welcome to attend. Board of Selectmen, John Gray Clark.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, Jess, would you like to start?
Sure, we're just we're requesting, as we discussed in a previous meeting, an extension of our curfew from 11:15 to midnight. So it's a request for a 45-minute extension. The reason behind that being that the opening act is Jay Giles Band, and with their regional ties, they are going to be playing a longer set than originally anticipated. They weren't on the bill when we originally went for the license. So with that in mind, we'd like to extend the curfew. It's been approved or endorsed by public safety officials, and so we've got a plan in place also in the event that they do run past that midnight curfew.
Dan, do you need that?
This is a bit of a strange request, but AEG came to us, the promoter, recently, and AEG is the promotion company that's brought us virtually every concert we've had in the last 5 years. So given that it was very important to them, we wanted to make this request with you. We had AEG hire the same production manager that we use when we promote shows, who is in constant contact with Commissioner Caspara in terms of sound monitoring. So he will be on board even though we're not promoting the show. He will be physically at the soundboard starting at 11:15 p.m., doing other duties prior. He will, regardless, turn the sound down starting at 11:15 p.m. anyway. And again, through Commissioner Caspara, we've come up with the fine structure for in case they did go for any reason. I don't think we've ever had a noise violation in the new stadium. We've had calls, certainly, but haven't had a noise violation. And wanted to let you know, too, we've reached out to Walpole and spoke with Mike Boynton a couple times now. And what we'll do, if it's granted, is we'll do it anyway we'll post the hotline phone number in the Walpole newspaper. And Mike and I and Chief Stillman will meet and talk about a variable message board somewhere in Walpole, up to the chief's discretion, probably around their common, letting them know about the show and the times. And also Mike will post it on the town website.
Thank you. And AdCom, stadium,
Yeah, we canvassed the members, and we felt that based on the demographics of the audience, on the fact that it was a Saturday concert, on the fact that liquor sales were not going to be served any later than normal. They would be cut off at the beginning of the main event, which is normal for the stadium. And that Commissioner Caspara had the ability to control and lower the sound, that we felt that it was 9-1, felt in favor of allowing it for this one special event based on those 4 criteria.
I know once, I think when I was previously chairman, we had Bruce Springsteen come in during that horrific rainstorm, thunderstorm. He couldn't even get land his plane right down in Rhode Island, so we extended it. And there was emergency calls, so we agreed to do that night. And there was no situation that night. But there was nothing reported to me for any kind of...
No. And the stadium, the new stadium is a much better acoustically in terms of preventing sound. We found we will have people on staff that'll man the hotline during the event, as with all concerts, and I'll work directly with Commissioner Caspara. One of the issues that I've heard since then that I just wanted to comment on is that if they were to go past 12 o'clock, And I leave that to Commissioner Caspera, but Bon Jovi at times can play a little bit longer than the normal end time, so I think it's important to get his input.
Any questions from the board? No? Bill, do you have anything you want to add? Oh, I'm sorry.
What would be the procedure if you did go in public?
That's why I was going to build them up.
First, if anyone knows where this audio remote is that I can control things with, please find it for me. I've been looking for it for years. I've been working with Dan Murphy and Jess Stevenson on a policy for these concerts if they go over the licensed time. And we discussed various options, one being a cash bond in place, large sum that was done in the past. But Jesse pointed out to me, and it made a lot of sense, that if a band goes 1 minute past the curfew, they lose that money. There's no incentive for them at that point to stop. They've lost the money and keep going. So we thought it best to develop a schedule of fines similar to Comcast, and I believe it's in your package there, that's on page 9, that would penalize them in an increased amount as they went past that deadline. So for some reason, we've never had it in place, this type of schedule. There used to be some bonds back in place years ago, but for whatever reason, that went by the wayside. So this shouldn't be in place just for Bon Jovi, but for all concerts from now on. I did talk with Dan today, and he understands that if the band goes past 12:01, it doesn't matter at that point. They can never come back in front of this board and ask for an extension again, and they know that. And they're going to have to deal with that internally. So there's a lot of incentive not to go beyond that. I do it's all in a weather condition as far as sound goes. If it's a clear night, it shouldn't be too bad. If there's cloud cover and wind, I anticipate there will be calls, and we'll deal with them as we had in the past by going up to the point of the complaint and taking a decibel meter reading to see if the complaint, if it's a viable violation, and we'll deal with it. Hopefully, is it Alex that's going to be at the soundboard?
Yeah.
Oh, Al himself? Okay, so I do have a good relationship with Al. He's going to be at the sound volume control level board, so hopefully we can keep it down.
Thank you. Any questions? Bill, always here.
So, for this concert, you're going to try fines if necessary. But what authority do you have to do it if we don't have a bylaw?
I'm going by Monday. You can, what I suggest is make it a condition in this extension that there will be a fine schedule in place. I'm going to take the Comcast one, and I was just waiting for where this went tonight. I can get it to you Monday, and we can make it as a part of the condition of this concert. I think you can institute it as a
Okay, but for the future, that would have to be a bylaw, or just conditions of any event? No?
It should be written into the regulations like it is with the Comcast, with their rules and regulations. I don't know what the process is for that, but this should be in place at all times. For all concerts.
So I have a question. So for this being added as a condition to this particular concert, does this mean that we'll have to have a public hearing to add this as a condition to the future concerts that don't have this? Thank you.
Once it's amendable, they don't have disagreements with it, you know. John?
So you're saying you're going to follow Mansfield's schedule? Is that-
We'll use that as a model, tweak it a little bit. Theirs is based on attendees, a certain amount per attendees. We'll probably do the same thing. It'll be more because of larger attendees, but this would be, yes, that's my recommendation, to adopt theirs.
And Bill, will you work with Dan and Jess to get their concurrence on the schedule?
Absolutely.
So there's no question that goes back to the schedule.
Okay, it's a public hearing. Is anybody from the audience wish to be heard? Please come forward. You have to pull up a chair to the left side of that table if you could.
Mike Saig, 8 Kendall Drive. I'm here tonight representing 5 or 6 of the satellite lots, and we have no problem staying open the extra 45 minutes if it helps the event. I don't represent them all because we didn't have a meeting, but a good portion of them I chatted with this afternoon.
Great, thank you. Anybody else from the audience? Motion to close the public hearing?
I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor? Just so everybody knows the fee schedule that Mr. Cazar has brought forward to the board, it's a fine up to, at the first level, 5 cents per attendee for 5 minutes, and then it escalates for 25 cents per attendee for 15 minutes running late, and it just goes all the way down to about an hour. I don't expect anybody's going to be running it that late. So, we're going to amend this for this. Is that agreeable, Dan?
Yes.
All right, so everybody's concerned, so I'll entertain a motion from the board.
Okay, I'll move that we adopt, at least for this event, the current fine schedule as in place by the Comcast Center, as provided by the inspection company.
To approve the extension of the concert.
Okay, and also to approve the extension of the scheduled time to midnight.
So the fee schedule is approved.
Yes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? All right. Okay, great.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Anybody want to log in this schedule? I thought so.
Thank you.
And Frank has the motion too. Thank you very much. And you want a motion? Yes. And you'll have to get a copy of this following up.
Actually, I might, here we go.
And,
That's not the fee schedule.
Hello all.
That's not the fee schedule.
hold on, we haven't closed the hearing.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, sorry.
It's all okay.
Just give it
See, that's the end of the NRV. Anybody want to make a motion to close?
Motion to close. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, everybody.